Hey, what's up? This is Jason Drone. Welcome to today's GSD Daily. So today we are going to talk about setting up conversion tracking and digging into data. So this has been Facebook ads week where we dig into, so basically Monday we talked about building a marketing funnel. Then we went into building a cold traffic advertising campaign, kind of step one of the marketing funnel. Step two of the marketing funnel is the retargeted campaign, the warm traffic campaign. So the people who are coming to your website, then they leave and then they see, your ads. Yesterday, we went through optimizing an ad campaign from scratch. So we had a guest on the show, Jennifer, and we went through and optimized her photography lead generation campaign. So that was a lot of fun. And today we're going to talk about data. So analyzing data and metrics. And a good friend and a client told me that basically I need to start off these live streams with what I do. Because a lot of times listening to me speak is like drinking from a fire hose sometimes, which, dude, I totally get. So basically, what I'm really, really good at is clarifying people's message, building sales systems and sales funnels, and then also analyzing the data, and tweaking all of the above for that. So that's really what I do. It's what I'm good at. And, everything that we do is some version of that, so that's, today we're going to talk about data and how to read data in a way that tells a story, which oftentimes is the challenge in building sales funnels and automation that work, because you never know, So what we're going to do over in the comment box, just let me know if you have any questions as we go through here. And then I'm going to dig into an ad campaign. And we're going to look at some of the demographics and some of the information that will make this campaign, run or not, work or not. So, all right, so we're going to dig into an ad account, and here what we're looking at is one of our campaigns. So this is a conversion campaign. Yesterday in the optimization that we did, we set up a conversion campaign. And today we're going to dig through some of the stats, not of that exact campaign, but of a conversion campaign. So just to kind of bring you back to the very, very beginning, to what we covered earlier in the week, there was a couple different things that we had going on. So we have this cold traffic campaign that is running, and the cold traffic campaign is built around lookalike audiences. So if we dig into this, we have some lookalike audiences, which are buyers, prospects, leads, basically people who raised their hand and said, yes, I'm interested in, learning more, or I'm interested in what you do. So once they become a lead, once they qualify themselves, then they're assembled into this audience. We create a lookalike audience, and now we're reaching out to everybody else that is them, like who Facebook thinks is like them. And then we're putting an ad in front of them. So that ad is this ad. So it's a dynamic ad that basically it's a collection of videos and images that recycle. And how that ad is set up is we have a couple different variations of text. We have a couple different images and a couple different videos. And you can see there's one of the videos. Actually, let me open up this. So I'm going to preview. There we go. Expand. So let me check out the variations here. So this is one variation. So then we have another variation where the image is switched. Then we have a video or an image where there is a sales video, or not a sales video, but just a marketing video. So you can see there's a video of me, and then we have another one, which is another video. And then, so there's lots of different variations here. This one, I'm testing out different emojis. So here I have a little download guy, or a little download envelope. And then here I have a Superman cape, like a Superman, super whatever. And then just some arrows. So with this dynamic creative, it is going through and basically just going ding, 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 ding. It's split testing all of these ads, and it's not telling us what is winning. They wouldn't do that because they want us to continue spending money in ads. But what it is doing is optimizing the creative in the background, and it's also showing slightly different versions of the ad to people who are seeing the ad. So that is keeping it fresh in our prospects' minds, and then also kind of reinforcing our message through lots of different ads. So that is why dynamic creative works really well. So that is our cold traffic ad. Now on Wednesday, we set up a retargeted ad, and if you remember, the retargeted ad was let's see. So if I go in, I'm going to check out the ad creative. It's just an image. This is just an image, nothing too crazy. Funnel flow made simple, with just a graphic. But if we look at the audience of this, you can see that this is only showing to people who have been on the website in the last 30 days and people who they signed up as a lead. So they're familiar with us in one way or another. So that's how they, that's who sees the ad. And the audience isn't huge. The potential reach is still unavailable because it is a smaller audience because, they've either been to the website or not. And then we kept the targeting pretty open. So 18 to 65, that way, if somebody came to the website, and they weren't necessarily in part of one of our interests, then the ad would still show to them. So the retargeted ad is left open for a reason. Let's see. Then, so those are the two campaigns. We got the cold traffic campaign, and then we have the warm traffic campaign. Now what I want to do is I want to go in and look at the data. So there's lots of different, kind of ways that we can check this out. One of my favorites though, so we have our conversions set up. So to set up conversions, you go into, let's see, if we go down, so pixels is where we set up our pixels, and we can set up, like a conversion pixel in here. So basically what we do is we cookie a page. So if somebody hits a page, then they get added to an audience. And then we have our audiences here. So we have our lookalike audiences, video views to 10 seconds, video views to 15 seconds, video views to 50%. So all of those are the different audiences that we're going after. And then if we go into custom conversions, then this is where we set up our conversions. So one of the custom conversions that I have set up is for this right here. So this is it's a $4.95 video course. That's the course we're retargeting. Then this is the URL that we're targeting. So if somebody hits this URL, that means they successfully purchased the video course, and it increments, it adds the conversion into the sequence. So when setting up the reporting, basically what we do is we add that reporting into the mix. So we say, okay, we are looking for this particular, piece of information. Here, let me just go there. So going to Ad Manager. And then if we go here into our cold traffic ad, then we see, so I'm just going to pull the special report that I have. And now this right here is the number of buyers that resulted from those campaigns. So like this one right here is showing us 11 buyers. Now, the interesting thing is, if we break this down into by delivery, age, and gender, then we get to see a very interesting look on our data. So here we go. We're just going to grab this. Then breakdown age and gender, and then here, right there. So you'll see that of our age groups, 35 to 44 female, we got some reach, some impressions, no buyers. Then we have 35 to 44 male. We have one lead, 202 reach, 316 impressions. And our cost per result was $16.61 per lead. So that's out of control, right? I mean, $16.61 to get one email address. That's nuts. Now, if we go down here and say, look at this data. So we have 55 to 64 male. We have 18 leads within this time period. Those 18 leads, there was 401 people saw the ad. There was 899 people who impressions. And then the cost per result was $3. So it ended up being $3 per email lead for this 55 to 64 male. Of those 18 people, 11 of them purchased our little $4.95 course. So what that means is that all of these other demographics, all of these people, who could have potentially bought the course but didn't, and also were much more expensive from a lead cost, that means 55 to 64 was they were our people. They were my people. And I found this in quite a few iterations of the stuff that we sell. But typically 55 to 64 male just work really well with us, So, and this is like conclusive data that this is true. You know what I mean? So what I did in knowing this, I said, okay, let me just hit none here. So if we look at these audiences, what I did was I actually broke it down and said, okay, now since I know 55 to 64 male is my audience, they're my buyers, then let's create ad sets for each of them. So now we have an ad set for 55 to 64 US dynamic. Then we have 35 to 44 male, which, I mean, this budget is next to nothing. But it's good to have them there just to see if they pick up eventually. So then we have male 55 to 64 mobile. So also, actually, here's another another little interesting tidbit here. So which one was it? Yeah, this one. So this ad set here, so we're going to go, this is the one that sent the 11 sales. We're going to go into this ad set. I just want to show you something real quick. So if we go into this ad set, you see that the ad set is only on desktop. So this particular ad set, for whatever reason, we have manual placements checked and it's desktop and it's only Facebook. So no Instagram, no Messenger, no Audience Network. Actually, on desktop, you can't have Instagram or Messenger. You can't have Audience Network though. So our buyers, 55 to 64 on a desktop using Facebook. Like that's our magic sauce. And again, I have seen this, quite a few times, like over the course of, doing business online, is our people tend to be that 55 to 64, segment on desktop. That's not discounting, mobile. So mobile, what often happens is somebody will opt in on mobile because they're on their device on mobile, but then they get the email. And once they get the email, that confirmation email that sends them their report or their link or whatever, once they get the email, then oftentimes they will click the link in the email on a desktop if they're into it, and then they'll come and buy. So you want to make sure that the emails that go out, they have the lead magnet link and then also the offer link if there's an upsell afterwards or whatever. So it's just kind of an interesting little data play that you just want to, make sense of. Does that help? Does that make sense? Okay, cool. So let's see, it looks like Grace said hi. Hi, Grace. And then we have, let's see, it just says Facebook user, unfortunately. But hello to the person who replied good morning to me. So hello. Um, let's see. Okay, so data, campaigns, ad sets, all of that stuff. Where else can we dig into on the custom conversions? So I think probably the other thing I want to talk about is just these video view campaigns. So one of the best ways that we end up assembling audiences for startups, for folks who we really just kind of start working with, and we start from scratch, is we do these video view campaigns. And how you set up a video view custom audience is you go custom audience. Then you use Facebook sources. So when you use Facebook sources, we have video, and then people who watched at least 3 seconds of your video, 10 seconds, 25%, 50%, 75%, or 95%. Now, depending on how much of the, obviously the person who watches more of your video, they're more engaged. So at the end of the day, that is helpful. It's great to know, because somebody's not going to watch 30 seconds into your live stream if they don't care, if they're not engaged, if they're not reasonably interested in the thing you're talking about. Things on Facebook move quickly, especially when you're just swiping down. Gary Vee says, well, if they're not interested, it took them a fraction of a second to think that they weren't interested and then just continue swiping. So it's fine, so the person who watched 30 seconds or more of your video, or 15 seconds or more of your video, they're interested, which means that we should be showing them additional ads. So how we set this up, from a marketing funnel standpoint, is we say, okay, the engagement is 15 seconds or more of any of these videos. So a 15-second video play on Facebook is called the through play. Now we're going to choose these videos. So this particular video has gotten 11,200 views. Then we have, these got 2,600 views, whatever. So you go through and you just choose all the videos, that you want Facebook to keep track of. It might be promo videos, it might be ad videos, it might be live streams, whatever it is you want them to do. Then we're going to hit confirm. We're going to select those videos, and then we're going to tell Facebook how far back we want it to go. Now, if you're creating an audience from scratch and you're just kind of getting started, 365 days is fine, because we want all the data we can. Some data is better than no data, but more recent data is the best data of all. So if we do the last 30 days, then the last 30 days ends up being our warm market. So those people, 30 days, they might remember us. 10 days, they definitely remember us. So what we're going to do is we're going to call this our video views, 15 seconds, 30 days. So then when we create this audience, basically what it's going to do is say, okay, do we want to create an ad with this audience, or do we want to expand this audience? So we are going to create a lookalike audience of the people who watched 15 seconds or more of our video. You follow me? So Facebook is going back and saying, okay, all the people who watched 15 seconds of the video, now go find me 2 million people just like them. 2 million people just like those the people who watched 15 seconds. And then, like we did in our optimization campaign yesterday, we take those 2 million people and we drip them down. So we go from 2 million down into a geographical location, which could be a town or city or state or whatever, or it could just be the country. And then it's all 2 million people. And then we go interest group, and then we go gender, and then we go age, and all of those other selects, so that it whittles those 2 million, algorithmically perfect people down into 50,000 or 100,000 or 200,000 people. So that's the scenario of this kind of video view campaign. The reason it works so well for people who are starting, kind of like startup business owners or startups or new digital course creators or whatever, is because we're using Facebook's data to build all of this. Like we're using we're using we're using all the algorithm and the social profiles and all the data that Facebook is gathering about all of us, and we're using it to build our customer avatar. And before we know who needs to give us their email address and who we need to like target from an opt-in standpoint, we can use the tools that Facebook already has, that Facebook has made available to all advertisers and everybody who's basically creating content. We can use those tools to dial in our target market. You don't even need to be an advertiser to do this. Like if you have a page and you're putting videos on your page, Facebook is tracking and keeping, Facebook is keeping track of who watched your video in the last year. So you can go and create this audience inside your ad account, even if you've never created an ad, and Facebook will have data for you, chilling back here, ready to build your audience for you. So if you use a lot of video and you've never done this before, then you probably already have a treasure trove of data that you just haven't used yet. So it's important to know that, like if you're doing anything with video is such a great tool, then you're going to be able to leverage that stuff, automatically. So I think that's really about it on the data and lookalike audience front. So this week we walked through Facebook ads. We walked through marketing funnel on Monday. We walked through cold traffic ads on Tuesday. We walked through retargeted traffic on Wednesday, campaign optimization on Thursday, and we walked through data today. Is there anything else you can think of that you want me to kind of kick through in the next couple minutes? Because I have another show at 11 called the Sales Systems Experts. So I think we're just going to kind of dive into that. We're going to talk about conversion, 5 killer tips for conversion or something like that. So I think that's it. With that, Monday, I think we're talking about offers. I think next Monday, the next week, and probably the next 2 weeks is going to be creating digital offers. We're going to go through and talk about ebooks, video courses, memberships, software systems, basically doing like a software boot camp, or not software boot camp, but like an offer boot camp. I think that is going to be the plan, which is pretty exciting. So let me know if you have any questions. Go to doneforyou.com/GSD to ask questions, or go to doneforyou.com/start to book a call and talk to us about an action plan. And I'll see you soon. All right. Thanks.